All right, all right. 46 days till the start of Q4, which means we need to talk about your lineup. We need to talk about your lineup, and we need to talk about the why of your lineup. Okay, the why. And what do I mean by your lineup? I mean what your product lineup looks like. What do you have for sale? What are the items? What is the price range of the items that you have? And getting this right is really pretty critical, all year long, I would say. And it's funny because I've been ramping up my content in Instagram and on YouTube and on the podcast. And as I've been doing that, naturally, I've been coming across everyone else that is doing the exact same thing. I mean, I did a simple Google search this morning, or Perplexity search rather, and I saw pieces of content such as, why now is the best time for retailers to plan their Christmas strategy. I saw prepping for Q4, tips to maximize your holiday sales. Get holiday sales ready, what every seller should know. Getting your business holiday ready with Rachel Ellen. I don't know who Rachel Ellen is. The 2025 holiday shopping revolution, 5 trends to watch. So it's out there everywhere. You guys, everyone is telling you now is the time to take Q4 incredibly seriously. And the reason is because more stuff sells in Q4 than any other time all year long. And what I've noticed out there as I've looked at some of this other content is there's just a ton of tactical from a myriad of veritable cornucopia of different creators in every niche imaginable, giving you all of the tactical, all of the time. The tactical, what to do, when to send emails, when to post on Instagram, what is the frequency, what should your battle plan be? And that's all good. I love that content. I put out a ton of that content. But very infrequently, and almost not at all, does anyone ever give you the why, okay? The why is important, okay? I like to start with the why. I want you to know the why. I want you to understand the why. The why is critically important. And I want to talk about why, see what I did there? Your lineup is critical, okay? Why your lineup, the price range, and the variation in the items you are selling is so important to a creative business, because nobody ever talks about this. Okay, and nobody can recite it off the top of their head, but you don't have to worry about that because I'm going to teach you. And it's really important. And it's so doggone fundamental to everything that we do as creatives. And so I want to talk about the 3 ways to grow an art or a photography business. Afterwards, we're going to talk about your lineup. This is the why. This is the why your lineup is so doggone critical, because there are only 3 ways to grow in art or a photography business. Okay, we're kind of going into class. I'm doing the Blackboard operation. We'll see if I can get this going on with my voice here. Number 1, acquire new customers. Good, I went in there. So number 1 is acquire new customers. And this is the one that everybody works on the most. This is the one that everybody talks about the most. This is the one that you see the vast majority of content on out there on the interwebs. Number 1, acquire new customers, right? New. And yes, acquiring new customers, bringing a new customer into your creative business is critically important. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about that. But it's also one way and only one way to grow an art or photography business. I would go as far to say probably 98%, maybe 90% of the content that's out there is all mapping to number 1. How to acquire new customers, how to acquire as many new customers as possible. Everything you're doing is get a new customer, get someone to purchase for the first time. And it is important, but guess what? It's only one of the 3 ways. And sadly, it's the hardest of the 3 ways. Let's do number 2. What is number 2? Number 2, and get this up, get existing customers to come back and purchase again. All right, let me fit that in my little box. It's so much easier than typing, but sometimes it's just not perfect, is it? Existing customers to come back and purchase again. Okay, hold on. Split this into 2 lines so we can all see it. Okay, this is the holy grail of an art or photography business. Okay, VMAS. Okay, say very conclusively, very succinctly, that it is far easier to get an existing customer to come back and purchase from you a second time than it is to get a new customer to come and purchase the first time. Okay. It is easier to get somebody to come back and purchase again than it is to get somebody to purchase for the first time. Now, this is more or less universally true for a number of different reasons in a number of different businesses, but it is incredibly true in an art or photography business, because art and photography businesses have the collector phenomenon built in, meaning every single solitary sale you make to every single solitary person that you make it is all a potential lottery ticket to what we call a collector. A collector is someone that's going to come back and purchase again and again and again and again. So you are way more incentivized, say, than Target is, or a tire shop, or a number of other businesses, okay, a sandwich shop, to try and get people to come back and purchase again, because really what you're trying to do is develop a collector. Collectors will come back and purchase from you again and again and again throughout the history of your entire business. And so a number of different strategies that we employ to do this. Okay. But today we're going to keep it focused on why the why your lineup is so important in this equation. Okay. So only three ways to grow an art of photography business. Number one is acquire new customers. Number two, existing customers coming back to purchasing again and again. Okay. And then we get the third, which no one ever wants to talk about, and is actually one of my favorites. Increase your AOV at time of purchase. Said AOC, not the Congresswoman. AOV. What is AOV? It is your average order value. Okay. Your average order value is really just the amount of money that your customer is spending with you at the time that you've made the sale. Okay. The amount of money that a customer purchases. So there's a number of different ways that you can increase AOV. The simplest way to increase AOV, you guys, is just raise your prices. If you're charging $1,000 for an original, raise it to $250. Your AOV, your average order value on that particular order went from $1,000 to $1,250, right? You made 250 extra bucks. So the easiest way to do it is just raise your prices. Okay. And that one's pretty self-explanatory, but obviously that one comes with its own difficulties. The next easiest way is bundling. Okay. So I come in, I love your creations. I want that thing on my wall. I come in to buy a print, and let's just say it's a large metal print. And in addition to the large metal print, you also sell me a photo book for my coffee table. You know, the large metal print would have ordinarily been $1,000. And let's just say the coffee table book would have been $150, and you sell it to me for $1,100. So instead of spending $1,000, I spent $1,100, right? So this is where having additional items in your lineup is so damn critical. Okay. It is so critical. And I see so many artists, so many photographers, so many creatives thinking that they are going to have a huge business just selling wall art. Okay. And while that's true for a very, very, very slim minority of us, for the vast majority, it is not true. And there are a number of reasons for this. And first and foremost is that wall art is not an everyday need for everybody. Okay. Not everybody is ready to buy wall art right now. Stated another way, not everybody, when they get drawn into your creative universe, is ready to purchase something that goes on their wall right at that minute when they discover you. Okay. And this is where things get so critical about your lineup. Okay. You have to have non-wall art related items in your lineup. Okay. You absolutely have to. And this whole what do you want to call it? Formula, equation, reality, truth. Okay. The 3 ways to grow an art or photography business. And I should change the color on this so it stands out. I'm going to go blue. Good times. Number 1, acquire new customers. Number 2, existing customers should come back and purchase again. Number 3, increase the AOV at the time of purchase. All 3 of these are significantly easier to achieve if you have non-wall art as a part of your lineup. Okay. And that's just a universal truth. And so many artists do not have that as the case, and they are leaving money on the table as a result. Number 1, again, It's because of the friction inherent in buying wall art. It's not often a impulse purchase. You normally have to talk to your spouse. You have to talk to your significant other. Art sales are oftentimes driven by moving, okay, and relocating and upgrading or downgrading or moving out of a house and getting rid of roommates, buying your first house. So there's a ton of friction just inherent in the art buying process, okay? How you make sure that you're covered, okay, as an artist, how you make sure that you're opening yourself up for a transaction at all times, okay, is by not having just wall art. You have to have non-wall art in your lineup. And this is even more true in this social media era that we live in. What are we all marketing on all day long? On this guy, right? And what are the people that are on this guy doing? They're consuming social media content. And then they get exposed to you as the creator. And you as the creator are incredibly talented. And I see your creations and I'm like, this person is amazing. I want to reward them for their creativity, but I'm not ready to think about putting something on my wall just yet. Instead, I just want an inexpensive item that I can purchase to reward this creator and get a little dopamine hit, okay? And that fundamentally is why having merchandise, whatever it is so important to have in your lineups, guys. It opens you up to impulse purchases. It opens you up to, I'm scrolling through social media. That's awesome. I just want to buy it. Okay. It lowers the commitment threshold in order for a new customer to do business with you. Okay. Stated another way, if you want to work on number one, do you know how much easier your job is if you want to acquire new customers? If you have non-wall art as a part of your lineup, it's massive, you guys. And why is it so important to sell things in your lineup that are not wall art and under $100? I'll tell you why. Because it's way easier to get an existing customer to come back and buy again than it is to get a new customer to come for the very first time. It's a huge thing. It is a compounding thing, right? Because if rule number 2 about how to grow an art or photography business is you need to get an existing customer to come back and purchase again, do you know what's not in that rule? What's not in that rule is what that person bought the first time. It doesn't matter what they bought. It doesn't matter if it was a $1, $5, $20, $50, $100, $100,000, $1 million item. It's acquiring a customer. The true revenue potential of any creative business maps directly back to the number of customers that business has acquired. It's that simple. Like if you're doing planning or forecasting or attempting to evaluate, put a valuation in an art business is as strong as the number of customers it acquires. Doesn't matter what dollar amount it is. And it makes so much sense, right? Like, let's say you guys worked this entire year up till today, up till August 15th. Oh, wow, it's August 15th already. You worked all year up till today, August 15th, okay? How many customers did you acquire in your art or photography business up till today? If you were just selling expensive wall art, it's probably a very low number. And so let's say you just started your business in 2025. You've been marketing all the way up until today, August 15th, and you've done a great job. You sold 4 people, okay? Because your prices started at $550 for an original and went up from there. You now have, as we go into Q4, 4 to 5 people on your email list that are customers that you can come back and purchase again. Okay. Let's say you're the other artist and in your lineup, you had stickers, you had calendars, you had greeting cards, you had coasters, you had tote bags, whatever it is, photo books, magnets, cups, hand-painted wooden spoons, okay? If you had all of that in your lineup and you started January 1 and we're now sitting here at August 15th, the number of customers you've acquired is likely 10 to 20 to 30 to 40x what that other artist acquired, that 4 to 5. You likely have 20 to 30 to 40 to 50 customers. Okay. Then we get into Q4. You send out an email to 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 customers versus the other one that sent to 4. Which business do you think is going to do better? It's just simple math. The revenue potential of any creative business is directly proportional to the number of new customers you acquire, which is why having your lineup in good shape is just so absolutely important. And it's not just lineup. It's pricing, right? And I've covered pricing on this channel, on other channels, on my podcast ad nauseum, and I will not stop covering pricing because it needs to be taught, and it's fundamentally not taught. You need prices from 0 to 100. You need prices from 100 to 1,000, and you need prices 1,000 plus. Okay. The beautiful thing is, sitting as an artist that's just getting started, sitting as a creator that's just getting started, whether you're a photographer, whether you're a painter, whether you're a crafter, to contemplate how you are going to add all of those prices into your lineup can be daunting, right? Well, with print on demand, this has absolutely been solved for us, you guys. With no minimum order, with no holding inventory, you can go from having 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 things in your lineup to 2 or 3 or 4 or 500 in a matter of a day. In the matter of a day. It's so easy to get that done. And it's, and we're not the only outfit in town. Yes, Art Storefronts is great at this. Yes, you upload your stuff and all of a sudden you have an entire lineup that you can go and market with. But there's others too. Somebody on here, but sell NFTs. No one is buying NFTs. NFTs, the technology, fascinating thing. Now's not the time. Don't even talk about it. Waste of time. You invest all your time, energy, and effort in NFTs, you're going to be lost. Anyway, but it does. And to your point though, an NFT at least does give you some price point variance, but independent of NFTs, which I don't want to talk about, having the lineup, you guys, prices from 0 to 100. Okay. In the 0 to 100, you have your merch, you have your inexpensive pieces. From 100 to 1,000, you have your prints going out various different sizes. 1,000 plus, you have your expensive originals or your limited editions. And, a lot of times I'll get pushback, especially from the fine artist crowd, like, merchandise. I am not that type of artist. I am a fine artist. I am not going to sell that kind of schlocky, tchotchke stuff. To which I always respond the same way. Go ahead and let me know the last museum that you went to that didn't have a gift shop. I'll wait. Anybody been to one that didn't have a gift shop, right? Like, if Van Gogh can be on the wall and you can buy a print of Van Gogh inside of the gift shop, do you think Van Gogh is losing any sleep? Technically, he's dead, so he's already asleep. But the point is, it's just a fundamental law of business, you guys. It is way, way easier to acquire a customer when you have non-wall art is a part of the lineup, okay? And you have a range of prices, 0 to 100, 100 to 1,000, 1,000 plus. Right now, where we sit in August 15th is absolutely the time of year where you need to start thinking about this, okay? Where you need to start getting your lineup in order. When you need to start saying, do I have non-wall art in my lineup? Do I have prices from 0 to 100? Do I have prices from 100 to 1,000? Do I have prices 1,000 plus? This is something that we absolutely have to solve for, and we absolutely have to have ready to go as we move into the busy holiday buying season. If you do, and when you do, okay, you are going to, number one, acquire more new customers. Number two, your existing customers that buy at the lower end of the scale are going to be like, this artist is awesome. Now I'm ready to buy. They sold me a coffee cup. I've been having coffee in it every single solitary day for the last 3 months. I am ready to go. I'm going to buy a piece of their expensive wall art. That's how it works. So if you get your lineup in order, you are going to acquire more new customers. You are going to get your existing customers to come back and purchase again. And you are going to be able to very easily increase the AOV, the average order value. These are the 3 ways to grow in art, photography, a creative business, and they're fundamental, and no one teaches it and no one talks about it. And I feel like once you learn it, once you hear it, you're like, oh, that makes so much sense. And it does, because it's just the truth. These are fundamental laws of a creative business, and ignore it at your own peril, right? It is so, so important to have. And so I would say, for those of you out there that don't have this going on and you want to get it set up, you want to get it set up immediately, we will help you. We can get you plugged in. Hit the link in the bio, visit the site. For those of you that are not in a position to do that and it's just not something you're ready, contemplate how you can get some of these things into your lineup. There are other outfits out there. There are different ways that you can do this. But the minute that you open yourself up for purchases that are a lower commitment, okay, that are a lower buying threshold, that are a lower dollar amount, you will acquire customers. When you acquire a customer, you get an email. When you continue to communicate with that email, they are going to be more and more and more receptive to who you are as a creator, to what you sell, and ultimately you are going to be in a fundamentally stronger position going into this Q4. More on this to come. I've got more podcast episodes dropping on this. I've been walking through on the podcast, by the way, I might as well pull it up so I can show you guys all of the things that you need to do to get ready for Q4 and how important it is. So if you're on Spotify, if you're on Apple Podcasts, whatever you're on, search for the Art Marketing Podcast if you're not a subscriber already. This little pink and purple operation here. And I just did one recently that says Ready, Set, Q4, your 70-day art sales boot camp. I am going to go into depth in future episodes on how to get your email list in order. I'm going to go into depth on future episodes on how to contemplate your Instagram and Facebook strategy ahead of the holiday buying season. Tips, tricks, and hacks for both email and Instagram and Facebook. We're going to cover more on pricing and lineup strategies because it's so important, a lot of which I just covered here. I'm going to be bringing artists in for interviews that have had great Q4s in the past, what they did, what they're going to be doing differently. This last one I just did yesterday, this guy's awesome, Court Whalen. Everyone needs to check this guy out. Super talented landscape photographer that's doing incredibly well. He talked about some of his Q4 strategies. So a ton of good stuff on the podcast. Highly recommend you subscribe. If you're not a podcast person, we're also on YouTube. You can watch all the videos, and I put all the awesome things into the show notes. So holiday season is approaching, guys. I want all of you guys ready. I want you to have the best holiday season you've ever had. In order for that to happen, we need to get ourselves, our digital house, our offline house, our art business house in order right now. 46 days to go and counting, and I want all of you guys to be ready. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your Friday, and have a great rest of your day.